Well, just start with 24 hours. Do a 24-hour fast. That's easy as shit.
Yeah, we do it every Monday.
Yeah, he's been doing it every Monday.
Really? Every Monday? What? Start on Sunday night?
Sunday, depending on how I'm feeling. So Sunday till Monday night, or Tuesday night, Wednesday night, depending.
See if I let myself, if I see how I feel, I'll do Monday lunchtime.
Yeah.
Like I'm fucking done. I'm starving.
You just got to do the first day.
That's
Once you get through the first day, you're sweet.
Yeah, first day is more of a frustration because you go. I kept on walking to the fridge and going,
No, you can't do that.
okay, let's start.
You're done. And you can't be in a house where people are cooking.
No, yeah.
You can't. You got to walk out.
Yeah, you do. Honestly.
Legitimately,
Yeah. Because I did the 72, 40 day, first 24 hours, I was like, yep, walk to the fridge, open the fridge, and then go, oh shit, I've fucking got to do this fast. I'm going 72 hours. Did that about probably 9 times during the day. And then the second day, I only felt hungry.
Any other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only felt hungry maybe twice, 3 times max.
It's habitual. I'll get in the water. I'll do the water. More water. I got to drink more water. I drink a lot of
Black coffee.
I drink lots of coffee.
3 litres a day.
That seems like a lot.
How many is that? That's 500? 450?
Yep. 500.
You think I'll be able to see that? 600.
Is it 600?
5 of them.
Mate, if I'm doing a diet plan for someone, that's the first thing. 2 weeks. Don't worry about food. 2 weeks. 2 weeks of water, at least 2 to 3 a day. Litres.
3 litres of water. I could do that.
And that's just a flush. Get you functioning properly.
KFC for lunch. Max for dinner.
Yeah.
3 litres of water. Done. I'm happy.
Mate, you can have pizza. As long as you have that 3 litres of water,
Yeah.
you're
I
fine.
know.
Whatever
That's a
you
get out of
want.
jail free card for me. See, I got to hack the system at all times. I'm like, oh, he told me 3 litres of water. Doesn't have to eat like a fat pig. The rest of it, done.
He only said 3 litres of water. He didn't say what we can have with it.
That's what I always thought. Because you're a personal trainer.
Yep.
Do you know what I thought would be a cool boot camp to do?
Tell me.
You know, horrifically fat people, like that's not PC, but big fat people. I'm talking like.
Obese.
I don't say
Massive.
PC at the moment. Not the world we live in. Jesus Christ.
Are we talking about? We're allowed to talk about fat people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk fat
About
people. I'm
everyone.
fat.
It's not-
I'm fat. It's not. I'm fat.
Get the fuck out of here. Fat people. I would hire a pool, and I would make sure nobody could see. Like I'd like because what comes with being overweight and obese? Shame, and like that's the big thing. So if you shut down the pool basically and have everybody come in and you all train together and do only pool work.
Go on Hydro Tread. That was a water treadmill that I was investing in.
Yeah, I know that. I know the ones you're talking about. The other ones that we run.
Varsity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it fills
I
up
saw
with
John Wayne
water.
Parr on that.
Yeah, that's the one. That one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you get them into a pool, and basically no impact, because that's the biggest problem, when you've put
They
on
can't,
heaps of
yeah.
weight, you can't just run. Like you can't say to you, "Oh, go and run for. I need you to do 10K a day."
No.
Because you're stuffed after probably day 2,
Yeah.
day 1 even.
And it's not enjoyable because you got to make. I know for a fact when I start training after having trained for a year,
Yeah.
and I've got a pretty good fitness base. I know after 1 week, like after my first session, if I go out there and I smash myself,
Yeah.
I don't want to go back and do another session the next day.
Yeah.
I go, no, that was
You're too sore.
you're just too
can't.
sore. You can't do it. But then once I ease myself into it, I might start doing the 5K walk, and then I might do like a 2K run and then walk 3Ks.
Yeah.
Keep it at 5Ks, and then by the second week, I'm running 5Ks. Going, geez, that was easy.
Yeah.
Next week I'm going to increase it to 6K, 7K, and then that's when I found that when I slowly build, it was like when I snapped my Achilles in 2007. I had to learn how to walk again, so I just jumped on the treadmill by myself when I was playing for the Titans. I used to just jump on the treadmill and I'd walk for 20 minutes at 5K an hour on the treadmill, which was boring because I was the only one in the gym. I was training by myself. By the end of the time, when I started playing again, when I knew I could play, when I had the trust in my Achilles that had healed and I'd sort of got a bit of muscle back in my calf muscle and my quad, I was running for an hour at about 14 Ks an hour, which is fast.
That's quick.
It's flying. I was flying, and then so I'd punch out
For an hour.
for an hour.
That's solid.
I'd punch out, but the thing is, what I'd do is I'd do it in intervals where you'd punch out at 14 Ks and I'd drop it back to like 12K or 10K for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
punch
back
it back up to 9. And then my endurance, my cardio went through the roof, and I came back. Once I got a little bit of confidence in my Achilles, that's how I train myself. And we talk about people who are obese, and I know blokes that would weigh 130 kilos, and that's how they'd start. They'd start, all right, I'm going to take you for a walk for an hour, and we won't even go past 4Ks an hour.
See, I wouldn't start. I'd start. Last time I decided I was going to start doing some running, I said I'm going to do the Crumman stairs 10 times.
10 times?
10 times?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
No, I don't do them.
That's tough.
It was because after 2, I was like, oh.
You wouldn't be able to feel your legs.
No, well, I was cooked for like a week afterwards.
Yeah.
I didn't.
10's massive. Like,
Yeah, it was massive too because
huge.
I may have got through 2 running and then I was like, oh, I'm in trouble here.
Oh,
Like I've got to do 8 more. You know when you decide you're going to do it. And I think I brought 2 mates with me as well, and so they were a lot fitter than I was, and they were just breezing up. And then I went from doing halves, so I had to do a quarter. I made it through 10, but it wasn't fun.
That's still, and then you probably didn't move for a week.
Oh, I didn't.
But
then I was cooked, and then I was like, oh, you can
Yeah,
keep
you're
this
done.
running shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to train.
Yeah.
I do 5. I do 5 in the morning. I used to do 5 in the morning.
Yep.
Mate, 5 used to kill me. Kill me. And the thing is, because I got a really bad lower back, that was the first thing that went, and I'd be like, oh, I'm not coming back tomorrow. But I would, and I'd be like, hate myself for it. But the endurance stuff, I know that you...
It's hard. I own gyms. And when I get a client come in, obviously because I'm fit and I train fit people, I'd have a client, I'd give them 20 squats, 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, and they're done.
Yeah.
But obviously they want to get more out of that session.
Yeah.
So you got to find that fine line to get them back in the door the next day or that week. It's really tough because people are so...
Well, when you start exercising, you want to start... If you decided you're going to start, you want to be like, right, I'm into someone to do everything they're doing.
It. And they want to do an hour session, hour PT session. Like you can't even do 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I'm like, I'm not interested in this shit.
It was like when I went from a walk, it was a challenge. And once I put it out there, I had to do it. And the thing is with social media, you put out a challenge.
Accountability is everything.
And you go, fuck, I've got to do this now. After
Yeah.
12 hours, I thought to myself, why the hell would I do this?
Yeah.
But it was fun.
You
The
back
challenges
yourself
were
into
fun.
a corner. That's the best way to get results. Back
Yeah.
yourself in a corner, tell people.
Yep.
Is that what you do with your gym, like accountability? You make sure that they know.
Accountability is everything. I'll do a program, sessions based on accountability.
Yeah.
So what they do in the gym, so they might see me for 3 hours a week. There's a lot of time they're not with me. And that's when they do their damage.
Yeah.
So I had a program going, it's got too time taxing for me, where I'd check in probably 10 times a day. How you doing? What food are you doing? How are you feeling? You know, there's so much that can go wrong in that time. They come to me for 3 hours a week or whatever it is. Like, oh, that should be sweet. Then I go and eat my Maccas and not move. I track their steps. I track their activity. Accountability is everything.
Momentum too, I would have thought. Like once they start.
Exactly. And they start seeing results and that motivates them more. It's just kind of babying them in that first 3-4 weeks.
It's a weird mental
hard.
thing, eh? It's a weird mental thing when people get themselves unfit because you're like I know I personally would do that. Like I'll let myself get super unfit and then I'll see the task or a race I want to do or something like that and I'll go and do it. As soon as that's over, I'm just like on a downward spiral back down to nothing
It's
again.
just human nature.
Yeah.
You want to have a rest, you own that rest, then you get into that routine of doing nothing again. And then you're stuck in that little sedentary, you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And you're stuck, you're like, oh, I can't really.
I think another big thing too when you're starting to get yourself fit again is your diet. Like if you can get your diet right, I think your results, if you can eat a lot healthier than what you have when you weren't training, this is what I find with myself. If I start eating a lot healthier, but the thing is, when I start training, I feel like I should eat more.
Yeah.
Where that's not really the case.
It's hard.
It's hard to get that balance because you go, right, I've trained this morning, I'm going to train this afternoon, I'll have Maccas for lunch. You know?
Yeah.
And then you have Maccas for lunch and you go, oh, I don't feel like training anymore. But if you can even that out, that was a big thing for me as well, as just evening it out, was getting that balance right. Getting balance right when you're trying to get fit again is number one.
So
that's for me.
For listeners, tell us a little bit about you, Dan.
Well, my background, basically, I grew up doing Ironman, surf life saving, triathlons, running, cross country, swimming, everything, kayaking. I was pretty successful, pretty young. I grew up with Kane Eckstein, racing him since I was 9. So I was pretty used to getting second a lot to him.
Can imagine,
Mate, a lot, hey.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
You know what? Sorry.
He's a strange cat.
But the
He's
thing
different.
is, the thing is,
Mentally.
I reckon he's one of the fittest athletes in not just Australia, the world.
Mate, I'm telling you, he is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So I grew up with
That's
him.
what I mean by strange. He's just got this weird...
It's a mentality.
Yeah.
I didn't beat him from, I would have been, I reckon, under 9s when we first started racing, under 8s, until I reckon under 14. So there's like 5 years, and I'd get up every race, and I'm talking I was second every time.
Yeah.
I might have beat him once, and like imagine coming up to your coach and your parents, oh, you got second again, well done. I'm sick of this bloke.
Yeah.
We just became friends. And then I think I started to beat him a little bit when we got onto the bigger boards.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit faster off the start, and he got caught behind. He's that endurance-based. He is now. So I did Ironman racing, and my ultimate goal in life was to win a world title. I did that in 2008, and then I was like, you know what? That's me. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like a lot of time, and I didn't get any money for it. I'm like, what am I doing it for? I was 22, I think I was.
It's a thankless sport, isn't it?
Mate,
Sometimes.
and the amount of training that went into it, like I pretty much said to my mum and dad, I'm having 6 months off uni, off work. This is it.
Yeah.
If I don't do it now, I'm done. Like, this is one chance. And I've always had in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to do it. I had that belief.
Yeah.
But I did that, and then I was like, you know what? I love fitness. I love helping people, training, coaching. So I started doing gyms, and I started coaching surf club. Like I was training Luke Cuff, Kai Hurst, Helly Bader, Kane Eckstein. So it was really weird going to racing, like racing Kai Hurst, for instance, sometimes, and watching him growing up in Uncle Toby's my hero.
That's another freak.
Oh mate! And then the next week I'm coaching him.
Yeah.
So imagine saying, "Hey mate, you need to do this. Like you're the best ever. Who am I to tell you what to do?" It was really weird. And then he became like, he's the best athlete, but he can get really lazy.
Who, Kai?
Oh my God!
Really?
Mate, he'd get into a session.
Gee, shots fired.
Oh no, like everyone can. Like you've won
Yeah.
everything. Like there's only so much motivation.
The weird thing about him is he's probably the closest thing on earth to a fish.
Yeah.
Like he has to be.
Definitely.
I can't think of anybody. You got Michael Phelps. That's a pool. That's like a pool. Like he's in a pool. If you get any sort of body of water, he's got to be the fastest person in the world.
Completely.
Has to
100%. Yeah.
Any thing that's not a pool.
Yeah, I guarantee you.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put him in any kind of wave or chop, he's the best. Mate, there's no one like him. Maybe Phil Clayton.
Yeah, well,
he's a local boy.
The same thing, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. But he's meant to become. Kai is meant to be coming here when he's here next.
Well, don't tell him I said he's lazy.
No, I won't.
But
I'll message him, but that's cool.
No, I had these young kids. I'm talking this now. This guy's a freak. Luke Cuff, he's an Iron Man, but he was like beating him in a board session. He would have been 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And Kai couldn't cop it. So on the way out of in a session, he'd turn around and go and catch waves. In the middle of a session in front of the young kids. So these young kids are seeing their idol quit mid-effort, mid-session, and then go and catch waves away from the coach and away from the squad. It's not a good example.
Not a good vibe, no.
And it was hard. What am I going to say? Hey, mate, what are you doing? Pull your head in. It's Kai Hurst. So it was difficult. It was tough.
Yeah, they will be tough.
Really tough.
And he's good looking too.
And he's a great looking bloke.
Little model.
He's got the
Isn't
package.
He's a sailor now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on him. Killing it.
That was. I think I've spoken about that before, but that was a real left of field thing when he joined. That was it Oracle he joined.
Mate, he would have been getting rumours a lot of money.
Oh, I can imagine.
I heard he was like on $500,000 a year.
I heard less than that, but
I heard $500,000.
like good. Like he's in Bermuda, like living there,
Living the dream.
But like, just come out of left field. He just said, "Oh, by the way, I'm gonna be a sailor now. Oh, I'm not only just with any team. I'm gonna go with like."
Yeah, well,
the
he was
best team
born. He
around."
was obviously born for the water.
Yeah.
I mean,
He
some
was.
people are even.
Wasn't he the grinder?
Yeah.
Well, this is what
He's
happened.
There's just a freak endurance /
And I wouldn't have thought that for him. Like swimming's like I would have thought Kane would be the man for that.
Well, he probably is.
Probably is. He doesn't know it yet. Eh?
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, we can tip
should
him
give him
into
a call now.
That's it. Yeah. Tell him. Message. Hey,
That's it.
have you looked into grinding?
Not
grinder.
Not grinder.
He's probably looked into both.
Well, see, Anthony Minicello, he did the guest from last week. He did the Sydney to Hobart, and he was on Anthony Bell's boat when they won. Apparently, he was the same as Kai Hurst. There was a team in America that approached Mini to join their full-time crew.
And he didn't do it.
There was talk. Now, there was talk that it could have been upwards of $1 million to do it. And he knocked it back because he was living in Sydney and didn't want to do it. And he did it as a novice, but he was so good. I think he was one of the only guys who got seasick once in the whole Sydney to Hobart thing. Like he reckons seasoned vets were falling over left, right and centre. Same thing with Kai Hurst. I think those sort of guys, because they're so fit and they're so motivated and they're so determined to do something, they'll just get in and do it anyway.
But what's your point of entry to that sport, though? You can't. There must be, like, you got the guys who actually do it, But how? Like, if you decided, right, I'm gonna really give this a go and be a
You
grinder.
need to know someone.
That's what I mean.
You
Like,
gotta
you don't
be
just
lucky.
go, oh, I'm gonna go to grinding school.
Yeah.
You know,
Jeez,
like,
I was good.
How
I was
weird
good on the
does that
grinder
sound?
today.
Yeah,
Again, I was good on the
grinder,
grinder
yeah.
in the gym. But
Send a couple of YouTube videos to over to Oracle.
look how good I am.
Yeah. Maybe give Kai a call, but
There's a few in the EMF at Bundle, and I was doing it in front of these chicks, in front of Tammy Hambro, and she's looking at me going, and I was looking at us going,
Who's Timmy Hembro?
he's,
Cut to
yeah,
that.
he's but that's what I mean. Like, even if it was a sport you wanted to get into, boy, it's not easy. Like, you almost have to go by invitation. But I think he was doing a lot of his stuff on the back burner. Like, he was
Yeah,
doing the
right.
trials and everything, like, without anybody knowing. Obviously, because he didn't know whether anything was going to come to fruition. And when it did, everyone went, "Oh, that was out of left field." But he'd
Yeah.
actually been doing it for 18 months, sort of like going down
I
there.
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, he's not stupid.
No,
He's a very
absolutely
smart man.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
definitely.
So I can imagine that being a bit of a tricky navigation, though, when you see these guys who you hold on a pedestal to an extent, and then you got to tell them,
Mate, it was
Hey.
tough. It was very, very tough. But you find your groove.
yeah.
You know, I like
Well, if
coaching.
they're professionals, they should be respecting the fact that you're there
Yeah.
to do a job as well.
Yeah.
And I think-
in a sense.
And I think if, like, coming from a professional background, I used to get coached by coaches that used to play that weren't any good, but I still respected them as a coach because they
Yeah.
come at me with a different point of view, or maybe see something
Yeah.
a little bit different. And obviously, Dan, you know, you competing against those guys and watching them come through, like you said, you're a bit intimidated or didn't know where you stood with them. But you, as a person that I know, you would have picked your moment and went, you know what, I deserve to be here. And it's like with a coach. If they, you know, like I said, they mightn't have been the best football players. They played a bit of first grade, but I still respect them because they gave me a different angle. They gave me. I was in this lane. They went, right, I will try looking at rugby like this. And I guess that's what you would. That's what
Everyone's
you would have
got
brought.
something, some aspect, whether they're a mum or a parent, they might have a different perspective on something, on
Yeah.
anything. And I think a lot of these guys in surf club, it was so old school, the approach they had with training. It was such like a Pat O'Keefe.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
the premium, the best coach,
Yep.
the benchmark of coaches. But I could tell you, and everyone could tell you what the session would be on Monday,
Yeah.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And they're still doing it. Clubs are now doing it now. Like, this is 15-year-old programs.
Yeah.
Like, adapt or die. You can't keep doing that stuff.
But he's a bit of an example too. This might be controversial, but he's not exactly. He seems to me like a coach. If anybody doesn't know him, like a program setter. And then you've got coaches like
you
yourself
couldn't
who
have said
are
it any better. There's a trainer and there's a coach.
a program. So he set the program, and don't get me wrong, one of the best ones around. But they like I've seen swim coaches like that as well, where they just basically sit there. One of our swim coaches when I was a young fella, he'd sit there and he'd set the program, and then go and have smokes. He'd have 3 smokes while we did the program. And you think, this is hardly an example,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, he was a very, very successful coach because there's almost 2 people: those that lead by example, or those that are sort of man managers, program setters that know how to speak to
Yeah.
people, know how to speak to young kids, you know,
Yeah,
as
sure.
well. It seemed like that. Pat seemed like one of those kind of blokes,
Definitely.
program setter, and then you obviously went the other
and they
way.
had his respect.
Yeah, exactly.
He trained the champions.
Yeah.
You knew you could get the results if you went.
And then you see a guy like Phil Clayton, like you were speaking about before, who will. He's one of those guys who go, "You're doing it shit. Watch, this is how you do it," and he'll go and do it and smash everybody.
Exactly. He'll prove the young kid. He cops it now to this day.
Yeah.
Like kids saying, "Oh, what do you know?"
Oh,
And he's like, "Oh, really? Let's do it. Let's
go. We're on. Yeah,
Legit.
yeah. "Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were more that. Did you go out and train with them as well?
Mate, big time.
Yeah.
I had to lead by example.
Mm.
A lot of, as I said, a lot of the focus was such like our sport in surf is short. Like, you got to go 200 meters out around a can and back in, and everyone trained a lot of the stuff behind the breaks. They do 5-10 minutes past the wave zone.
Yeah.
I was under the belief that if you couldn't get to the back of the wave zone in the top pack, you're done.
Yeah.
So
fair.
my philosophy and my training was all in and out of the surf. So we weren't going for these long paddles because, you know what, you do that in the off season,
Yeah.
and that's where you build your endurance, you build your base. If I'm going to beat you every single day of the week to the back of the surf break and you get caught in that wave zone, the race is done. I'm beating you. And if you weren't confident to get out to that back of the wave zone first or in that top pack, you're done. And I think that's where I changed the training to be more explosive, fast twitched, focused on that aggressive off the mark instead of kind of maybe sitting back in the pack and waiting for your time.
Waiting, yeah.
You're just giving away too much of a lead at the start. So that's where I focused
Every now
on.
and then that'll work, but
Not very often. So that's where I focused on more that kind of side of things, and we got some pretty good results.
Yeah.
People loved it.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
So,
good.
and then so now you're gone to the gyms.
Mate, then I went into gyms. I started one around the corner here in Burleigh, and then, mate, it seemed like overnight there was 10 on my block.
Yeah.
Legitimately. And I got out of that business and went into the app space, just digital, online.
So how do you go into that? Everyone wants to build an app, eh? Everyone's got an app idea.
This is where it all started. This is the start between Dan and I.
Fell into it. Hey, just completely fell into it. Our business partner at the time, he was working for Virgin. He was flying over to Perth, and I was coaching over in Perth. By chance, fate led us to having a conversation. Next thing I know, we got apps together. We started our first one was with Kane Eckstein, 100 Club.
Yep.
He launched that doing the 24-hour world record for pull-ups.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, our business partner at the time took all our money and a lot of investors' money and fled overseas and probably shouldn't be saying that.
No, we won't mention names.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But you know, mate, and that kind of derailed momentum and things happened. But it's a lot of money for an app. Like back then, I think it was maybe 120
Really?
upfront cash. Let's go. Before you even, and that was in 2016. Mate, it was a big gamble for us.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, I can't believe I did it, to be honest with you. Like looking back now, what an idiot.
Yeah.
But great lessons learned. Anyway, so we've refined the process. We've found ways to help with investments. We've funded ourselves. We can get funding. So it makes it a little bit more accessible for the average Joe, really, or someone who doesn't have that kind of capital to invest.
And so how are they built? Like without giving away the...
Well, very smart.
Yeah.
Very.
No, legitimately. Our guy...
I'm going to pretend to understand.
Our developer's got 6 fingers. He's a
Does he?
genius.
I was born with 6 fingers.
Were you?
Yes. That's not a lie either.
Really?
Where's it gone?
I got cut off. See?
Yeah, the little one. He's
See
kept
that
it on there.
Yeah,
He's
that's...
kept it.
Yeah, don't...
He's like this little
But
tiny.
it-
I didn't have a
But
choice. Mine went within hours of me being born, but yeah, we got something in common. Maybe I should make an app.
But the thing is, he is legitimately one of the smartest dudes I know. Like
Fast on a keyboard too, I would imagine.
And mate, when he was young, he didn't count to 10. He counted to 12 because he had the 6 fingers. But he's very intelligent in what he does. And the thing is, I got burnt the same year as what Dan did. I invested 20,000 into an app that I wanted to build. I gave him the cash, gave a company the cash, and then I think all I got was three emails saying, "This is where we're up to. Okay, can we move forward?" No, we need more money. I'm like, well, hang on. If you've given me a bill for 20,000 to build the app, and that was just gone. Just see you later. And then we just teamed up and went, you know what? There's an avenue here because there's so many people that I know personally that have said to me in the past, geez, I've got this app idea. Everyone's got an idea. This is the thing. Everyone has an idea in their head because you know what? Apps are so much a part of our lives. Everyone uses an app every single day. I don't care what it is. It's Facebook, Instagram, it could be Strava, could be anything. Everything. Everyone's involved with an app. So everyone I know has thought about, I wanted to design an app, and they don't know where to do it. I didn't know where to do it.
Sounds like it was a dodgy space to start in too, because if you got ripped off, you got ripped off.
That was
So
4
dodgy.
years ago. Now a lot's changed. There's been a lot of changes in that sort of industry.
It's more professional.
It is more professional because you can't get away with not doing an app, giving someone some money and then receive a donut. You can't do that anymore. But
a lot of people are getting ripped off though. Like what we do is we go in and help consult with app ideas. So we're going here at your idea. If you've done some work, we'll go and I'll pull it apart and see what we've done. Like I did a consult maybe earlier in the year, and it's for a very, very big organisation, and they had paid about 130K. And these are old guys on the board of directors, and I'm like, oh, for what? Can you show me what they've done? And it was a website.
Fuck.
No, I'm not even kidding you. And they go, no, it's an app. I said, the invoice says app development. They've given you a website.
Yeah.
They were paying $40,000 a year to host the website. No, I'm not kidding you. and I'm just blown away. I'm like, what is going on here? Like, people just have no idea. It's such a space where you can make no money or you can make millions. So, and I think there's a lot of people getting taken advantage of. So that's where we come involved. We want to help people get their ideas executed without getting ripped off, without, getting some dodgy guy to come in and develop it. Because it's so scary, like especially putting money up front. If you're putting that kind of capital into something, you want someone running it who knows what they're doing.
So what's what costs in an app? So what makes an app worth more than a
functionalities, mate.
Functionalities,
So if I want to do a messaging function, that's going to cost me X amount of dollars.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If I want to have a merchant facility, if I want to do a geolocations mapping, whatever it is, I want to set up a profile. If I want to do anything, it's every single function is going to cost money. So then you got to go and code it properly for iOS, for Android, put it to an app, to a website as well. So there's so many things that can go right or wrong. Plus the UI for it, which is what it looks like to the consumer.
So it's just really, like in layman's terms, it's really just a version of a website.
Correct.
So you're more a website. Effectively, you're building websites, but in an app.
Well, apps
version,
are websites.
Websites, yeah.
On an app. There's so much more you can do for businesses. For a business, I can push notifications out. I can see a lot more of what my customers are doing. Yeah. As bad as it sounds. But like people complain about this COVID app.
Yeah, fucking Zuckerberg,
mate,
don't you?
Google
and everything.
Google and Facebook are doing 10 times worse than what that COVID app's doing.
Yeah.
And they've got no idea.
Yeah.
Like I laugh when I see people going, don't download that COVID. I didn't, but don't download the COVID app. They can track you, mate. They've been doing it since 2009.
I don't know.
They know what you're doing anyway, Gil. So don't worry about it.
That's right. I don't know. You might start talking about trade tools. All of a sudden, you pick up your phone.
Oh,
and there's an ad for trade tools on Facebook. You go.
I bought a new bed on Sunday. Right, bought a new bed on Sunday. I didn't open my phone in the shop once. Didn't open my phone. I got home. It was the bed sheet, I think, or something like that. Sure enough, go on, I think it was Facebook or Instagram, and it was come up, bed sheet, all the advertisements.
Oh yeah.
I bought a bed from there. I promise you I didn't open my phone once.
We've got ones where, so if one of my members of my fitness plan goes into a shopping centre, and I know that they've been in a shopping centre for about 5 minutes, it'll send them a shopping list. You've got an app that does that? Yeah, you can do that. If you walk into a gym, hey, you haven't done your gym session today, here's your program.
Shit.
That's cost money.
You should get one. You should have it where if you go to Macca's or KFC, it just starts this
Get out.
starts like an alert, like it starts siren. You're fucking shut that siren up.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Dan knows I'm at KFC again.
Yeah.
This is the fourth time this alarm's gone off. But
that's not a bad idea. I'm taking that.
Yeah, okay.
This finger's working. See?
There we go.
I like it.
App space.
Accountability app.
Yeah. A siren.
Well,
I need that thing.
Hey.
It's like codes. Yeah. You watch Macca's, put the kibosh on that straight away.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this arsehole's killing us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it because it's everything. Also, every business too. There's a version of something. Like I got a plumbing business. I could have an app for plumbing because I know that I could have I could have bookings. I could have, tips and tricks. You could have like all the certain things that go with it. But
we had a little consult with a new client last night. A pretty big client actually.
Yeah.
And that even touched on that with high pages.
Oh yeah.
And they're pumping leads to obviously the plumbers or the carpenters, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some pretty big projects.
And we've got some good clients too, some export stars, everything.
So you're working with high pages?
No. We just had a look at that last night.
Oh yeah, okay. I could give you.
They're doing well.
I'll talk to you after.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and they're like we've got one at the moment that we're trying to streamline at the moment where we see obviously being in the industry of Dan especially the fitness industry, all the challenge apps, and all the challenges out there. Like I'll do 25 push-ups for 25 days, but I won't monetize it. I'll create awareness for it. Where we're in the process now of developing an app where you can actually go and video yourself doing the challenges. You can apply to people or challenge people to do an app to do a challenge as well. Yeah. But then also say, righto, we're going to donate. There's a spot here where you can donate. Click on donate. I'm donating to might be livin.org or it might be ASD for kids or it might be any charity that you want where we can actually monetize it for them so they can get something out of it and create awareness and do the app. And so that
seems a lot better. Because I see these people doing these challenges.
Oh. What about that one?
And they say I'm going to donate, but
do you? Sugar shot. It was like they had a sugar, an raw egg. Like it raises awareness, but I just found it wasn't.
Does it though?
Delivering. Well, it raised awareness of something stupid. Yeah. Doing a stupid.
I just don't even know because
challenge.
half the time I see a challenge and I just skip through it because I think you're not you're not really doing any awareness here. It's more like you're just promoting yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
they
what I
want
mean.
to be seen doing something on social media.
That's the latest thing. Remember the ice bucket challenge? Everybody just wanted to throw ice on themselves.
Yeah.
So if you can monetize it, I agree. Like that's a way where you it's accountability, isn't it? You're well, if you're going to sign up for this, you're going to actually prove that you're going to do this, and then it's something for these people. Yeah,
and then it actually goes to the organisation and helps
Mm.
them as well. It's
Yeah.
not just creating awareness; it's putting
Doing
money in
something.
their pocket, and
But-
you're doing something.
But if there's a tracking, like you said, like if they said, I'm going to do 25 push-ups for and
25 days,
living, or whoever it is, like ASD for kids, if they could track how much people actually signed up for that challenge and how much of a donation they got,
That's
I would
exactly
say
what,
it'd be less than 1%.
that's exactly what we're doing though.
Yeah.
Because we want
That's
to
what I
take
mean,
away
yeah,
that the kind of bullshit about it.
Yeah.
It's just bullshit.
Accountability.
Self-promotion.
Yeah,
Mm.
it legitimately. I don't like it. We don't
Yeah.
like it. So like, you
Mm.
know what? How can we change it?
Yeah.
Let's do something about it.
Yeah.
So we're creating this app where it's like a TikTok. There's challenges. You either follow the challenge, you join the challenge, or you donate. Simple.
Nice.
2 weeks. We're doing 50 kilometers to 50k.
Yeah, 50k from the border. We'll walk from the border, that D bar to surface, 50k's for 50 grand, and we'll have 50 people join us along the way. So that's just to create awareness and get it out there and
Yep.
do all that sort of stuff. And that'll happen in the next fortnight or month.
Yeah.
So we're
We'll
just
be,
trying
on,
to
we'll be on
refine it.
Sunrise. We'll get it.
Yeah, get it put
pumped
out.
around there.
Get it put out here, and so yeah, just put a
Absolutely,
pump it
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. So just get that awareness out there. That this sort of app's out there for those guys, and that I've done a challenge and haven't. All I've done the challenge for is just because I've been asked to do it, create
Yeah.
awareness, and this is just taking it to another level.
Yeah. I like the way I'm monetizing it, and it's the accountability thing's big for me because you don't know when people do like they get the money in, you don't know whether they're actually forwarding that money on to who they're going to, and
Exactly right.
yeah,
You can't track it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's a weird space, hey.
It is a weird
So
space.
what's a way that people, if they have an app idea, what's the process? Like if I said, I've got a great idea, I'm gonna
So normally, obviously, I'd book in and we'd have a little chat to them. The biggest thing for us is everyone's got an idea.
Yeah.
We look for people that can.
You say that, but I've got none at the moment. I've got no app ideas
No,
at
but
all.
if you
Most
think
people
about
do.
it, if you think a lot of people do, like I said,
Yeah.
because
I've just given you my good one. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
we're taking
We'll
it.
cut you
Shit.
in, though.
Yeah.
We'll cut you in.
it's yours, mate. You can have it.
We'll give you 3%.
That's rude, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it was my idea, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3% of $1 billion.
We'll chat about
though,
this
not bad.
afterwards.
No,
Yeah,
3% all
not
on.
impressed at all. But yeah, so you create a meeting with you, and
Yeah, so we
and-
qualify them. Like, obviously, the idea is great, but if the person we feel can't execute the idea, we don't waste our time.
Yep.
We've got 27 new app projects to do the next year. That's a lot.
Mm.
So that's a massive thing for us, the person more so than the idea,
Yeah.
really. Because, mate,
What shit ideas have you had? Not you, but what shit ideas have they come on?
Well, see, they're not shit
Out
ideas.
someone.
There's never a shit idea because at the end of the day, once your app gets designed, you never know where it goes. You never know who's after that app or where it is. There's never really a shit design or a shit idea because someone, like, people might have thought that Facebook was a shit idea.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that? Now it's the most profitable
Billions, yeah.
Yeah.
Billions,
social
yeah.
media. So any idea, and this is not to suck you in. Like any idea can be a great idea. It's how you market it. It's how you push it, or how you how people might want it. Like there's some ridiculous ideas that will just never work.
Yeah.
That, like Dan said, you go, no, listen, mate, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you never know where anything can end.
like even we've got one that we haven't really launched yet. It's like a soft launch we've been testing. There's one similar in the States, and that's pulling 90k a month. And it's like so basic, so simple. You're like how can they... People don't understand how much money they can make on apps.
Well, so how do you monetize it?
There's so many different ways. Data's the major thing. Data advertising depends.
So,
Data's for sale.
yeah.
Like we don't do it.
Okay, so explain to...
I can't go into too much
my
detail
iPhone,
about
okay,
it.
don't go too much detail. My iPhone, I use it basically for calling and texting. I'm not very technology savvy. So how do you say data
So a company might...
without
I might have a fitness app.
yeah.
Okay, and it might have 10,000 consumers on it. And a fitness company might say Nike might come to me and go, okay, all the males in this area that do this thing or this and this, can you say promote my Nike
Oh, I
product
see.
to them?
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Yeah. Data.
Data advertising.
So
LinkedIn,
data, not data like memory data. It's more data as in what you've
your customers, your network,
customers.
your
Okay,
database.
yeah, I'm with your database.
Who you have that have used your
See, I
app.
told you I was ridiculous. I don't know this shit at all.
It's just they just want to find out what your consumer does
Yeah.
and their intentions, and hopefully divert their intention to buy their product. That's all it is.
Information. Everyone wants information, don't
That's
they?
it, mate.
Yeah.
I'm starving for
Yep.
it.
Right. Okay. So that's
It's interesting.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
It seems pretty heavy, all that stuff, you know.
And there's so many ways. Like I think of ideas every week, how to monetize an app.
Well, if you're in the space too, you're
Mate,
like,
it's-
yeah,
I think our developer gets sick of our ideas.
yeah,
Like there's every week, like, what about this one? Like, I've got so many good ones.
yeah. Because they take some time. They take a fair bit of time to build, or someone who's savvy.
Especially when we've got 27 projects
Yeah.
on the go. It's hard to put mine in there in front of theirs.
So do you see when some come through, like you say that you get like investors ways of paying for it or help out? Do you see some yourself and go, oh mate, I'm
yeah,
this.
completely.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
take 50.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah,
The one we had a meeting last night with one that's going to be massive. I know it's going to be massive.
yeah,
And the people that want the app are going to execute it. Have no doubt.
Because they got drive.
yeah,
And they're very successful of what they've done.
yeah,
It's just a habit
yeah,
ingrained in them.
yeah, yeah, and they know the process, don't
And
they?
I
And they-
know that's going to be huge.
Yeah.
So we haven't had that conversation yet, but it's going to be coming up. We want in.
Smoko app.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hey,
just don't know what to do.
come see us.
Yeah,
talk.
well,
Come
yeah,
see
we'll
us,
chat
talk.
after this. I've got a
Yeah.
great idea to. I got nothing.
Hey, next week you will, I guarantee you.
All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all I'm really thinking about now.
Yeah,
Thinking,
yeah.
what can I do to be an
Yeah.
app? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Because then that also, do you decide who decides how much the app costs?
The developer. So
Okay.
depending on the functions, obviously we have to speak about the functions, and then a lot of people, and I was myself and Kane were the worst at that. We built this app, and it was just everything on there.
Yeah.
We planned for 10 million users.
Yep.
The end 4-year product, and we did it all in one.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of kind of creating a main feature to get everyone on the app in the first place, and then building it
Yep.
based on what they want, because we can track what they want. We can track how long they've been on the screen for,
Yeah.
how long it made them to take that decision to push that button, their whole behavior on the app. We can decide, okay, they're always going to this function. Let's build on that.
Yeah.
Instead of we built it this massive thing from the start.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then educating the client.
So
hey,
you built a city hoping the population would come rather
Yeah.
than
and that's
building
like
a small town
most
and
business-
expanding.
That's
yeah.
most businesses these days.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Like you see people doing renovations on surf clubs and stuff, and mate, your surf club's empty.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to bring people in just because you got a
Yeah.
nice toilet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
the same thing with an app. Like, and if they're not coming in because they like your product, don't build this massive Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
And then to convey that to the client, hey, your idea is great. It's not going to work right now. They get emotional attached to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's very, very tough to pick that one function or similar or basic functions
Mm.
to get the customer in the door in the first place,
Yeah.
and then build it if they need to.
Yeah. Right. So you sort of advise them, hey, just keep it tight, keep it simple,
Yeah.
keep it,
100%.
functional.
You don't know. Like no
Yeah.
one knows. It's uncharted territory.
So what's
You
the
don't-
most popular category for apps? Fitness. Gold Coast must be
Mate,
fitness.
not really. No.
Games.
Games massive
Oh,
because of
yeah,
Fortify.
Yeah.
Fortify's just changed.
He's coming in here, that bloke.
Is he?
Sammy. I know Sammy. Good fella.
What day we're coming in?
We're
I
coming.
don't know. I'm not telling you now.
We're going to be at the door
We're
still
coming
at
in.
front.
He's
No, I've messaged him. He's stuck in Dubai.
Yeah.
So when he's back, he's coming in.
Not a bad place to be stuck.
from Logan.
Have you
too.
seen the way he lives?
Yeah, I know, I have.
Anywhere he is not
I
a bad
know,
place to be
I
stuck.
know.
Mate,
so-
I did a shoey out of his $5,000. What do you have? Louis Vuitton shoes.
Oh,
Did a
Jesus.
shoe, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and Brody Jenner and Dingo Morrison and that were up at a house party at the Hinterland, and
Bet you were.
Jesus.
I put out grabbed his boot, and did a shoey out of it.
How'd that go
mate,
down?
I didn't even know what they were. They had like he's a good feet. He's a
Little
good fo-
spikes and
Yeah, they
stuff
had
on
all
them?
the spikes on.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of fucking shoes are these? And he goes, mate, they cost me $5,000. I was like, good here. Put me beer in it and just sculled straight out of it. We all had a drink out of it.
Yeah.
Even he had a drink out of it.
Yeah.
He's a champion. He's
Yeah.
awesome. He's a great
I
lad.
would have been. Yeah, he got back to me, so he's keen. So
He's a
he's an
smart
interesting
man.
cat.
Very,
interesting cat.
very,
Yeah.
very switched on.
He was ahead
Yeah.
of the game.
Yeah.
He had a vision and he knew what he was doing before anyone else was doing it.
Well, what I like about him is he's a hustler
Oh yeah,
to the bone. Like he just everything he's doing, you can tell he's
yeah.
and he's super simple when it comes to like sort of what he portrays. Like he's like no secrets. This is what I'm doing. I'm just working hard behind the scenes,
Yeah,
getting it done, and living the life.
living
Isn't he
the
living
life.
the life? He's living the
Oh
life.
mate, but what he also portrays as well, which I love, he's like I can afford this stuff. Like you guys are out there spending all this money on shit you can't afford.
He's living off his interest.
Yeah.
That,
Basically, he's
That's
like
what he says,
basically yeah. He's like I got so much money. This is my It's
Yeah.
chump change to me.
Yeah.
So I don't
I
feel like
love
I'm
that.
spending everything.
Looks after the boys too.
Oh,
Looks
really?
after his boys. So
Yeah, I can imagine.
that's the best thing for me.
Yeah. Well, that's huge, eh? If
Yeah.
people are like that, they know where they come from. Because you can look at some of his older videos, and there's old ones when he's living in Logan.
Yeah.
And driving around a shitty car, making these videos and that. So he'd be real interesting to talk to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be in
come-
the front. I'll be in the
come
front
in
door.
front.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's cool. No, yeah, real cool. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I find all this stuff interesting. I just know that if you can be ahead of the game in what you're doing, or you can be in the industry that is sort of taking off, then you've always got to step forward. Always got to step. It's a bit like podcasts. Like they're not as popular. They were far more popular than they used to be, but they're also not as popular as they will be.
Yeah.
Because it will
for
become
sure.
one of those things that everything can have.
Yeah, definitely.
Every industry, or like you might have a podcast talking about apps, and it's only going to speak to, like with what we're doing, we're for everybody. Whereas you can just streamline what it is you want to do. You can have you know, I'm sure you'd listen to a podcast if it was a guy who was telling you how to build apps correctly.
100%.
Just so you know, like there might be one thing in an hour that you learn, but
100. I've
Yeah.
actually thought of an app like that. Where and it's just
see, he's
probably
just
too hard
always
to
on this
execute.
bloke.
Oh yeah.
I'm always on.
I get
Never
phone
off.
calls at 9:30. Now this is what I'm thinking.
Never
I'm like,
off.
yep,
Yeah.
done.
Well, think about it. It's if I'm starting a gym, I want to go to someone who's started gyms and ask them
Yeah.
how to start gyms.
Yeah.
Like it's like that TEDx kind of. Is that TED Talks, whatever it's
Yeah,
called?
TED Talks,
Same
yeah.
thing. Like it needs. I think could be more diverse and more specific to certain industries. Like if I wanted to be a hairdresser, who's the best person that's done that? Where's their tips? Where's their knowledge?
Stefan,
Yeah.
Oscar.
So I tell you what, we've made.
Ship
I've
sail
made.
with me with hairdressers now.
What's that?
The ship sail with hairdressers.
Yeah.
I just got it cleaned
Yeah,
up.
I'm gone.
I go the bar.
Mate, how long's that staying for?
I don't know. I was thinking about getting rid of it today, actually, and the hair and everything. Yeah, just
Nah,
back to clean.
shave the hair.
Go COVID. Clean cut.
yeah.
How do you go on these meetings? They're coming in like, going, who's this bushwhacker coming in?
I couldn't care what they fucking think.
That's part of the appeal, isn't it? You're
That's
like,
it.
fucking, it is
Surprise
what it is.
'em, surprise
Yeah,
'em.
surprise them. That's when you get things like tattoos and things like that. You think, oh, what if someone thinks, you know?
Yeah.
No, but
And you think,
who cares?
fuck.
most of our mates that are successful, you would never pick it.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I got some very successful friends,
Yeah.
and they drive average cars,
Mm.
dress average.
There's I saw a thing from a tweet or something like from, is it James Franco?
Yeah.
And he said,
I saw
it's-
that the other day.
yeah, about how lots of successful people wear ripped jeans and Chuck Taylors now, and the poor people wear Louis
Oh,
Vuitton
yeah, I
and
saw
something
that.
like that. And thinking,
It's true.
it's true.
So
like, but then it's that weird fake it till you make it. Do you?
Mate, I've got mates that are saying they every paycheck on buy brand new clothes and they can't pay their rent.
Yeah, yeah. They took it
No,
all
mate,
up,
what
or
are you
their
doing?
sick pay and shit like
Pisses
that.
me
Like,
off. I get
yeah.
so fucking angry at them.
I think you can't unteach that though. You know, like
I try.
that. There's
Yeah.
yeah. I know someone like that, like the Hoodrich. I call him.
Would-
I was like, because he's got the latest iPhone and the latest everything, but drives the biggest piece of shit car that always breaking down. Instead of investing in a decent car that's going to get you around,
Yeah.
you know. And I think a lot of people out of school, it's that social media thing. You got to keep up.
Keep up
You
with
see
the
what people have
Joneses,
got.
yeah.
You got to keep up all the time, all the time, and that's so dangerous to have the latest thing. And maybe there's an app in that.
Mate.
Don't get
I'm
us
so
thinking.
full of shit.
Now my
You
head's
see one-
going
yeah,
just
did
fucking
you see me?
bang.
I was like, yeah, I'm all over it.
Yeah, no, there's no app for that. But you know, that's a scary thing to be part of because everybody's got to be doing the latest thing. Like I get stressed about it with my kids. I'm like, don't do what they're doing. Do what you're
Yeah.
doing. Do always try and keep something different.
Yeah.
And you notice that when like I don't know if you've got kids, but you got
Fresh.
older kids, fresh,
1 month,
fresh.
4
you're
weeks.
Oh, geez, mate, you're in for it.
Yeah, no, I can't wait.
But like with your older kids too, you know, like they see something and then that they automatically they gravitate towards that one thing that has to be. They have to have it
Yeah.
and just frustrate. Like my daughter's
iPhone
begging me for an
X's at the
iPhone.
moment. iPhone 11s at the moment. Fuck, if my
Yeah.
kids ask me for an iPhone 11 again,
Yeah.
What, do they want one?
yeah, Harper wants one. Chase wants one. He keeps on breaking his shit, but I'm not getting him anything.
Yeah, I'm the
He's-
same. Like she goes like, I want a phone. I said, you're not having a phone. Not a phone till you're high school.
Yeah, or you can pay for it.
Well, she probably can at the moment. She's a little saver.
That's good.
That's good.
It is good. I make it. Anything you earn, you got to save half.
Tell her about the apps.
She's not investing in apps.
Yeah.
That'd be the latest thing to do.
That's him.
I know. Hey, we'll talk about the your, what was it, your Broncos? Can we call them your Broncos?
Well, they are my Broncos, and I do get very passionate
Or do you
about
jump
them.
ship? Are you
No.
on Roosters at the moment?
No, well, see, the thing is, I played for 6 clubs, so I can go for 6 clubs. But
You must be one of the most. Are you one of the most out there?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, got sacked from 3 of them.
Well, don't be so hard on yourself. That's all right.
All right, what do you want to talk about the Broncos? They are. But the thing is, they've
made it. They're coming back.
They've got Pengai Junior, David Fafita. They've got Alex Glenn to come back. So I can't be too critical at the moment. I mean, I watched the Roosters play on the weekend. They were sensational. They put
they played last night.
Yeah, they put the Bulldogs to the sword. But I mean, I'm a little bit worried about the coach at the Broncos. I personally don't think he's up to coaching first grade. He struggled coaching Queensland Cup, let alone coaching first grade.
He did all right with the Rabbitohs, though.
He got a premiership winning team.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
They won the premiership the year before. Of course, he's going to go good. You know, so I mean that thing worries me. I don't think he is the right coach to coach the Broncos. You've got to have a big personality to coach the Broncos because Broncos they're one of the most successful and biggest name sporting clubs in Australia, and they're worldwide known. So I worry about their coach. That's the biggest concern for me. But what makes me a little bit happier is that you got your Dave Fafitas and you got your Pengai Juniors to come back. They're a different team with those guys. Poor old Payne Haas, he's 20-year-old and he's had to carry the forward back. So, he's done a fantastic. But Ben Teo has played 15 minutes. But they've got. I mean, a lot of the teams are recognising that if you can take time off Payne Haas and not let him get a head of steam up, they're getting off some of the defensive patterns against the Broncos. They've sort of worked them out. So. But when you've got three of them coming at you, you've got your Payne Haas taking one, then you've got David Fafita taking two, and then you've got Pengai Junior on the back of that. They can make some ground, and they'll do some damage. They'll start winning some games. I don't think they're too far off. But I mean, against the Roosters, the biggest thing that concerns me is it's the same playing group as they had last year. They got beaten 58-0 in a eliminating semi-final against the Para.
Yeah.
And then they've lost a couple of games. They lost, I think, 36-6, and they got beaten 59-0. Two record scores in 5 games. It's a bit of a concern.
Do you know what confuses me? They got flogged 59-0, and then the next week they just lose to Manly. As a player,
it's a mindset.
That's rocks and diamonds. Like, how do you perform so highly on one side, but then the very next week or the week prior perform so poorly? You know, then they blame it on the coach. Well, he hasn't changed anything in 1 week.
No, but the thing is, the coach. This is what I saw with the coach. I watched his press conference after the Roosters. He's already going to that press conference with excuses. Like, fuck me. If someone says to me again, if he says to me again, or says in the press conference again, that he's got the youngest squad in the comp. He's had 8 players with under 30 fucking games. If I hear that again, I'm going to throw my phone at the TV. It is as a supporter, and then as a supporter that's played the game, as a person that's played the game, I don't want my coach to go in and say, "Oh fuck, I don't have the playing roster. Oh, I've got 8 players that have played under 30 games." Because if I've played one game, like I said, if they ring me at fucking 4 o'clock in the morning and said, "Listen, the game's been pushed down to 4:30, that you got to be ready in half an hour," I'm ready to play.
Yeah.
I don't need a coach to come in and say, "Oh, you know, we had 8 players and we had this guy debut and they're not ready. The coach, the playing group's not ready. Oh, we've got $4 million worth of salary cap on the sideline." As a player, I don't want to hear that.
They probably hear that, don't they? And it changes their mindset.
They go,
sure.
That automatically gives the playing group an excuse. Oh, the coach is going in saying, "Oh, we're young. Okay, I'm not expected to win games for 20 more games." The players go, "Oh,
how good's this?
How good's this?
Yeah.
We don't if we lose, the coach is going to make excuses for us." Like, it mightn't be that it mightn't be like that in the dressing sheds after a game because they might have got their ass kicked. But to hear that and hear the experts or the so-called experts and the journalists who aren't experts, some of these journalists don't know what they're fucking seeing. It gives them that excuse. It gives them, oh well, fuck. Anthony Seibold's come out and said, "You know what? My coach is going, I'm young. I've only played 30 games. I'm ready to go. I don't care how many games I'm playing. I'm fucking ready to go." At one game, I got called in a day before because I got on my debut game. I got called in for Steve Renouf. We got beaten against Cronulla 18-6 or 18-12 or whatever it was, but I was ready to go. I was ready to go whether fucking Steve Renouf still played. I was going to kick him in the shins before the game so I could play. You know what I mean? Like I don't need a coach to tell me to go, "Oh, you've only played 30 games, so we'll give you that time." That's the thing that concerns me about him. And then him bringing out in that press conference, saying, oh, listen, the Roosters were like this in 2016. So that means he's already gone and done his research and said, righto, well, if we get beaten, these are the excuses I'm going to bring out. As a coach, you don't need that.
I heard that Trent Robinson had gone to Nick Politis.
Yep.
He said to him, we're in for a bit of a bad year here because of what we're doing, but we're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Well, the thing
he
is...
sort of said, I can just see the writing's on the wall here. We're just going to we have to sacrifice this bad season to have, and then, well, look, they seem to be doing all right now.
But then Roosters, Broncos, he took over a very good roster last year, and they only snuck in. They just snuck into the top 8. Now, this year, they're sitting at 12th or 13th. That's after 5 rounds after COVID come back. But they're not showing me much. Like, they showed a little bit of fight on the weekend. But some of their players, they're living off those excuses that the coach has given them and giving them that free rein to use as an excuse.
With your team sports, and you'll know this from individual sports, you've only got and that's one thing that I find difficult, you've got to rely on you. Like you said, I took 6 months off, put my time and effort in, and you knew full well what was, what you were capable of, what you needed to show up on that one day. When you're dealing with 16 other blokes, how frustrating is that? Like, do you think they get the thoughts of being like, fuck, like, these guys aren't stepping up. I'm trying my backside off.
They got to have good leadership in the team. Have to.
If they got a leadership group there that doesn't let them, like I had Freddie, I had Elf coming through. I had some very good leaders in the clubs that I played with, and they wouldn't let you as a young kid, take a day off, so to speak. They'd be riding you. They'd be wanting you to do extras. Like my first year in the first grade, my rookie year in first grade, we lost 9 games of the first 10 games for the Broncos. But what we did is Wayne obviously had been through that before, and he going, righto boys, we're going to actually train harder, because I believe the harder you train, the luckier you get. And we rode each other, like we fucking gave it to each other at training, and we got smashed at training. You wouldn't believe it, but I think we won the last 13 games and got into the semi-finals. Yeah, that was on what we were doing, on how bad we performed at the start of the year. They it's a large part of it. If you've got a good leadership group, the Roosters have got a fantastic leadership group. They got a really good mix of bunch of old guys, your middle, your 30 to 80 game players, and then they've got a couple of rookies coming through that have played 1 to 30 games. And because they've got that mindset of winning, they've got a really good culture. A culture's another one. Culture's a big one. You know it too, Dan. If you're involved in a team sport or you're an individual, you can still have culture within yourself and your coaching group. But if you've got a bad culture within a large group of players, you're rotten to the core. You got no chance. I don't care how talented your players are. If you've got a bad culture and a team that's not going to play for each other, you could have a team full of Andrew Johnsons and still come last.
That's anywhere. Work, home, school,
big time.
Everywhere.
Well, that's the thing. Like being a professional sports person, if you're in an organisation, whether you own it or you're a part of that, it's the similarities between running a successful business and a successful sporting team. Not much difference. Yeah,
right. It confuses me. So if you were starting like a team right now, would you sign yourself and I said to you, you're going to have one player to sign. Say, what's that team? What's the Brisbane team? The Brisbane Bombers, isn't it?
Yep.
The new one they're starting. Let's say we're starting again with the Gold Coast. You're starting the Gold Coast Titans all over again. Fresh start, get rid of everybody.
Yep.
Would you hire someone, when you say hire, would you recruit someone who is like a Cam Smith to bring culture? Or would you...
You'd have Cam Smith because he's a package. Yeah. He works very, very hard. He comes with a very good attitude and he's very skillful. So your number one pick would be Cam Smith because you could build a team around.
But would you bring someone who is highly skilled or someone who is highly skilled at culture?
Culture.
Every time over skill?
Every time.
And who would that be?
Time. Well, Cam Smith.
You reckon he's good at culture?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. But if you took Cam Smith out of the picture, you'd probably go with Jake Friend because he's...
Really?
He when he was younger, a bit of a wild child, knows that, you can bring those wild child through because, look, he's had a wonderful career, played over 250 games, played grand finals, won grand finals.
Yeah.
So you'd probably bring in a Jake Friend. He wouldn't cost you as much as what a Cam Smith is, but he's done just as much as what Cam Smith. Not in the rep side, but
He's underrated, isn't he?
he is very underrated. I'd go with a Jake Friend off the top of my head. He'd be one of them. Obviously, yeah.
Chris Walker.
Not for culture, no, because
Did you ruin a culture, do you, Chris?
no, I don't ruin culture. I just
Push the boundaries
push
of
the
the culture.
boundaries of the culture.
You throw a spanner in the works here and there.
Get locked up a couple of times, then I turn up to training late, so that's not good for your culture. But during a game, I'd put in 110%. But I
Were you one of those blokes that led everybody astray, like the young fellas?
used to get led astray, and then
How's that gonna be? There you go.
but then
He's confused now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I used to have fun. That's all I'd do. I'd have fun.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
play hard, but you trained hard.
Yeah,
You
and
put
drink
in.
hard and party hard.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We're done.
I'm trying to trap him. Can you see?
No.
I'm trying to trap him. Trying to get some headlines.
No. Oh, we had some fun. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, easy. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for coming in,
Cheers.
mate.
Thank
Right,
you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
very much. Thanks again.
We'll see you next week. Locked in.
Locker room.
Same time, same place.
Yep, same channel.
Bring all those app ideas.
Righto. Perfect. Cheers, bro.